Hello, and welcome to Preparing to Survive and Thrive Homesteading channel with Charlie B. So, what I've got going on today? Well, we're going to do some upcycling. I have some vitamin bottles right here, my doTERRA vitamins I take. They are in nice dark colored bottles. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean them up first. All I do to remove some of this foil that would be still around it, I just pull it off. And if I can't get it off, it's not going to be a big deal, but I just like to get most of it off. I'll just take a little knife and kind of scrape it off a little bit. Make sure it's cleaned up inside. Now, before I decided to use these, I did wash them all up in the inside, and they've been drying. And our next step is, when I pull off the label, it's kind of sticky. It's kind of gluey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my doTERRA essential oil, and I just put a little bit on a paper towel, a few drops, and first off, it smells amazing. It's lemon and helps clear your head, at least in my opinion. And I will just take this over the sticky part and get the rest of the glue off. You can see how the glue is starting to come off right there. So this is a bottle that has a lot on it. So it's going to take me a good bit of oil here. But you'll be amazed how that comes off. And it's not like I'm having to push real hard or anything. Got a lot of glue on this one. So I'll just keep wiping that off until I get it cleaned up. Lots of glue on this one. Sometimes when it's really, really thick like it is right there, I will just drop a couple of it on here. A couple drops of my lemon oil actually on the glue. I'm going to need to get another bot, and I'll just wipe it over. And if it's too thick, you can also just stick it in the dishwasher. That also helps take a little bit of the hot water, that is, helps take some of the glue off. I just prefer to use my doTERRA essential oils. First off, it makes the house also smell really nice when you're doing it. So I've got this one cleaned up pretty good. And I will wipe these down once I get them loaded and everything. So what we are going to do with these is we're going to actually put my spices that's in my Ziploc baggies. I want to get these all cleaned up and put them neat. And these are nice dark colored bottles, so they will prevent the sunlight from coming in and help and causing my spices to lose, and herbs to lose their potency and their color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my nifty NutriBullet right here. Now this is sweet basil. Just going to dump that in. And if I see any sticks, I will go ahead and pull those out. I do like to upcycle. I like to use things over again so we don't waste it. We're not filling the landfills up with these guys either. Even though they are recyclables, sometimes things don't always get recyclable. Sorry about the noise, but now this is a nice fine, not real fine because I stopped it before it got too crazy. But you can see what it's done. And I'm going to put this lid, because this has a spout on it. That closed off, and I'm going to dump it in my bottle. Now, if you don't want an herb to be quite this fine, you can also use a different type of mixer or blender or any number of things. I also have a coffee grinder that I like to use for some of them, and I will show you what that is in just a few minutes. So stay with me and we'll be back. So that's my sweet basil. Nope, you won't be able to see it too dark. That's a good thing. And I'm just going to put my lid on it. I'm going to take another paper towel. And just wipe it down. Now, what else do I have to do? I'm sure you know. Before I move along to my next one, I'm going to have to dry it off, and I'm going to have to label it. Just using a little bit of freezer tape, nothing fancy, and put sweet basil. Now these were from 820. I dehydrated a lot of herbs that year. And there you go. And I'm just going to put them up in my cabinet. They'll be nice and done. And I'm upcycling. It's not filling up as landfill. So I'll be back in a few minutes to show you another herb with a different type of blender or process. Hey, the next way I'm going to be processing these is through a coffee grinder. And I've already put some rosemary in here and started chopping it up. I'm going to add some more. Now, sometimes I like rosemary to have whole leaves when I'm laying them on tops of roasts and stuff like that. Just makes it look prettier. But I'm going to put these in here. Put the lid on, and I'm going to pulsate this because I don't want it to be too ground. So I'm actually going to end up having two different bottles of this. One's going to say ground, and the other one's going to say whole leaves. As you can see, they're a lot smaller. This cord is very, very small. So let me bring it down so you can get a better look. So this is what the rosemary leaves are looking like, that they are kind of getting ground up. Some of them smaller in there, some of them are bigger. Now this is what the rosemary leaves look like before I started to grind them. A lot bigger. That's all right, because we have uses for them both. Okay, now again, I'm going to do the same thing. I wiped this out with a damp cloth and then dried it really well. And I'm just putting the rosemary ground up ones in here. My leaves, going to put this back on, and I'm going to pour it right in to this bottle. So we got some good ground up rosemary leaves. Okay, once again, I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to label this, and I'll get back to grinding them up more. So that's how I'm upcycling. So I'm going to finish this up and maybe you'll get to see the last of it. I'll be back in a minute. I labeled my ground rosemary. Now for the ones that I'm not going to grind up, I'm just going to dump them in my handy dandy little container here, and I'll put this directly into the bottles. Most of mine I will be doing this because thyme doesn't need to, ground up, neither does deal. So many of them that I have here. Some of them I want to leave whole, like I have goldenrod leaves that are pretty whole. I do not want to grind them up because they go in teas, and they can just sit in there and soak and do their marvelous things whenever I go to use them to help with stuffiness and upper respiratory issues. But I'm not an herbalist, so do not take what I'm saying. Take it with a grain of salt. Do your research. Do what works for you. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of tapping to get them to come out. I couldn't find a funnel that was really small enough but had a decent sized hole in order to get this done to make it easier. I'm sure there's one out there somewhere. I just haven't found it. This could take all day. So we're going to get this all done up and we'll be back. My cabinets will look more organized. And remember, if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. That's just a little upcycling tip that I have for you today. And remember, like, share, and subscribe. Charlie B signing out. Seeing you soon. Let's see if this will work a little bit better. And give this a little cut right here. Still messy. I think I'm making a bigger mess than this is even helping. I've got to find a funnel that this will actually work with. There we go. It's starting to work better. Okay, well, there's another little suggestion for you on the outside of my video. Yeah, like, share, and subscribe. I'll be seeing you soon. Again,